All right, there you go. This is Dream Champs.
Good evening, guys. My name is Jill, and this is my business partner, Jen. And together we created Dream Champs out of our own personal experience. So Jen and I graduated from college in 2009, which, as many of you know, was an incredibly horrible time to try and find a job. And we were thrilled when we landed what we thought was our dream job. And we were going to be working for a very large international PR firm. Well, it took us about 8 months to realize that we were absolutely miserable. What we thought this job was absolutely what it wasn't. And even though we were working with household brand name clients and had a firm we were working for that had a lot of clout, we could barely get ourselves out of bed in the morning to get into work. And if you know Jen and I personally, this is pretty much the opposite of our personality. So we actually got up the gumption to quit, and yes, this is us on our last day. We quit our jobs. It was very exciting and terrifying, by the way. But we got up the gumption to quit, and we dove into the world of entrepreneurship. And it was at that point that for the first time we really realized what company culture was. We began to work with small and mid-sized firms, and we realized that there are companies in the world who care about more than just a financial bottom line. There are companies out there that care about their employees' happiness. They care about the values that their program brings and how their actual business impacts the community. So when we started to realize that, we learned that everything society teaches us about job happiness is wrong. They teach us that if we have a big paycheck and a fancy job title that we're going to be happy. But what we realize is this isn't the case. And that is what got us to Dream Champs. So Dream Champs is an online educational resource that helps job seekers who are realizing that life is too short to do work you hate. Now, these are the type of job seekers that aren't just looking for any job. They are looking for the job. And we're going to be starting in Chicago, and we're on a mission to showcase the best places to work in cities across the U.S. We're going to help job seekers not only identify the best companies to work for, but also share information on that company's mission, values, and what their workplace environment actually is like. So this approach to job seeking, which is based on finding the company you want to work for instead of the open position that's available, actually empowers job seekers to find organizations that they'll fit into culturally. So, for example, if you were going to go on Google and search accounting Chicago, you are going to bring up the biggest firms in the city. Now, don't get me wrong, we're not knocking those, but what you're not going to bring up is that you could have an accounting job working for Red Frog Events, who are the wizards that do the Warrior Dash and Beach Palooza, or you could work for Threadless and bring your dog into work with you every day. These are the type of companies that we want to make people aware of and we want to feature on our site. So once a job seeker finds the organization they would like to work for, they can actually then browse through all the open listings that are available. And the companies are in control of themselves. There's actually a back-end platform that companies can go into and update. Now, once they find a position, they can apply straight through the company's site, but otherwise they can actually start to relationship build if there's not an available position. So they can reach out through their social media and figure out what it is that they need to do to build a relationship and get into that company. Now, our hope is that the employee finds a job that they're really going to thrive in and not just survive in. But it's also good for the business side because they're going to get an intelligent, go-getting person who normally would be going to a very large organization because that's where they think they're going to be deemed successful. It's exactly what Nico was talking about earlier when you're trying to find the right people, but they're all going to the larger companies. So we really want to give exposure to these incredible companies who don't use corporate recruiters and aren't having the budgets necessary to travel to all these job fairs. And basically, when we started reaching out to companies, we realized that when they put out a job application or a job listing on something like Craigslist or Monster, they get absolutely inundated. They get inundated with people who are blanketing resumes to everybody and don't just care about their organization. So what we hope to do is help them target through a niche community people who are looking to work for a specific company. And these are the organizations that understand about work happiness and that when employees are happy, the productivity goes way up, as does the creativity and innovation in that type of workplace. So to be featured, a company actually has to meet a majority of our 12 guidelines, and these were actually written by Tony Schwartz for Harvard Business Review, and he is someone that believes in a lot of the same principles we do and has been a great partner for us in helping us select the best companies to have on the site. So once companies actually do meet the criteria, we don't charge them to have a basic profile. And the reason for doing this is that we felt like if you get that revenue stream mixed in with what our intentions are, the integrity of the list would just be shot. So instead, we are focusing on some different revenue streams, which include multimedia packages. So for instance, if you wanted to do a more upgraded version of your company profile, we actually do video storytelling about what it's like to work there. Come in, see the office place, talk to the employees. We're also going to be doing offline event for job seekers, helping.
Time's up. Sorry.
Oh, all right. It's like the Oscars when the music comes on. I just have to get off the stage. All right.
All right, we have quite a few questions. How do you guys choose the companies that are going to be featured?
Yes, well, you can go on the site. We do have self-nominations, but it all goes back to Tony's list. And people go through an extensive form and they fill it out, and then we decide.
As far as choosing what the best, and best is in quotation marks here, choosing the best couldn't there be a conflict of interest?
Absolutely. Well, see, here's the difference between what we're doing and what we found with best places to work lists. So if you go to any city or different magazines, they all have best places to work list. But what happens with a lot of those lists is that it's who's paying for advertising in the magazine that month, or who they've worked with in the past, who knows who. We really wanted to set up a national guideline and set everybody to the same parameters, basically. And then also that's why we're not charging to be part of the site, because we really do believe that that messes with the integrity of who you're getting involved and who you're not.
Is there a certain type of companies? Is it going to be mostly tech, or does it really not matter?
Yeah, well, we're definitely focused on small to mid-size because I think those are the companies that really embrace and understand culture. That being said, our background's in PR. We have a PR company as well, and so I think we've started to go towards more less techy companies, but we're excited to get more involved. We're working with a science company right now as well.
As far as convincing job seekers that culture fit should be one of their top priorities, how do you guys go about doing that?
I mean, the thing that drives Jen and I at the end of the day is inspiring people. So a big part of what we're doing is trying to educate people and just say, we don't want people to go through what we did. We don't want them to do 8 months at a job where they're miserable. We want to give college students coming out an idea of what the workplace is really like and what they can expect if they really seek it out.
Are you going to have any kind of metrics to track as far as happiness? As far as people when they get the jobs and they get their culture fit?
Smiley face stickers? That's really, no. Yeah. It's interesting and we do a lot of online storytelling, and I think a lot of it for us is going to be people telling us what their experience is and, how can we continue to expand on what experience you've had, and if you've had a bad experience, how can we adjust the site for that? So.
And, okay, we've got a little more time here. So what guarantees the applicants are any better than others as far as doesn't everyone want to work at Zappos or companies like that?
Well, honestly, we're idealists, but we're pragmatic idealists, and it's my hope that someday all companies try and do Zappos, because I think that more companies need to be like Zappos. So obviously not everyone in the U.S. is going to have an amazing job, but why can't we strive for that? And hopefully this will be one way for more people to get attention to that issue.
And you guys are a triple bottom line company?
Really?
Are you a triple bottom line company? Social. No, okay, that's obviously no.
Yeah, we're.
Yeah. So they were curious as far as do you endorse going about the social business, the triple bottom line way of going about things?
Do we endorse being social? This is really embarrassing, but I have no idea what triple bottom line means. I did not go to business school. I'm a journalism major.
It's like Tom's shoes. You buy a pair, you give away a pair.
Oh, 1-for-1 model.
Along those lines.
Okay.
Nothing.
God, I feel like I'm drowning up here. I really don't know what you're
asking. That's fine. I was trying to figure out the wording of the question, but actually that is the last question. Sorry. Anyway, Dream Champs.